Envision this, my dear friends. You want to custom build a gaming PC, and your favorite content creators keep harping on and on about buying used graphics cards, saying it's so easy to just go onto Facebook Marketplace and find barely used video cards for dirt cheap. So you start searching, and all you find are dusty and rust-filled hogs that even your grandma wouldn't want to put into her Threadripper rig. And the sellers? Oh, the sellers. They are overzealous, demanding ludicrous prices without any room for negotiation. It's all just a giant headache. So submit it for your approval. Let's assemble a gaming PC that is not only under $300, but we don't even have to chalk up the savings to lucky deals in your local market, or even super rare sales and clipped coupons online. Oh, and yeah, it'll game just fine too. But if you're building a new gaming PC, you're probably going to want to check out this message from the sponsor of this video.
So you just built a brand new PC, and of course you need to install Windows and get it activated. You head to the official site, you check the price, and you see that it's actually crazy expensive. Well, here's a way better and cheaper option, VIP URCD key. They've got Windows 11 Pro for just $22 with my code JASON. Let me show you how it works. Go to their site, find Windows 11 Pro, and add it to your cart. Use the discount code JASON, J-A-S-O-N, at checkout, and the price drops all the way down to $22. That's over 85% off. Once you've paid, you'll get your key instantly. Pop it into Windows activation, and boom, you're good to go. Easy, fast, safe, and absolutely affordable. You already spent a bunch on your new PC, so don't waste extra money on activating it. Check out VIP URCD key. Links are in the description, and their New Year's sale is live right now. Go grab those deals before they're gone. And thanks to VIP URCD key for sponsoring this video.
Whew, whew. Disclaimer alert. Whew, whew, whew. The PC you're about to watch me build was all purchased online in the US using US dollars. The prices will 100% change depending on your country or the time frame when you watch this video. So as usual, don't use this as a one-to-one guide, but rather as an inspiration for your next budget build. Got it?
Yeah.
Good. Who said that? Let's start off by talking about the case. As usual, there aren't really any budget cases that are like $30 year-round like there was in the good old days of 2019. You just have to sit around and wait for a budget one to go on sale or suck it up and pay the 60 bucks. But this is a YouTube video after all, so I always want to try new cases and not just rely on the same ones over and over. AliExpress is usually an absolute nightmare when it comes to searching for PC cases, considering they are all being shipped from the literal other side of the planet, which is flat. The shipping costs generally eat up into any discounts you would normally be getting. But sometimes you do find a case that is just affordable with free shipping. But who knows if it's any good, you know? Well, we're about to find out. This is the Powertrain X100, an extremely portable MATX case I bought on AliExpress that actually looks pretty cool at first glance. It has this sleek metal front design and a big tempered glass side panel. There's no power supply shroud, but it can apparently fit GPUs up to 335 millimeters in length. So, you know, that's pretty cool. The front I/O actually has USB-C, if you can believe it, and it even has a handle on top for when you take your gaming PC to grandma's house for the weekend. Now frankly, Franklin, this isn't an amazing case. The metal is very thin and the airflow seems a bit obstructed. It also doesn't come with any fan, so while I probably wouldn't use this case for more expensive components, I think it will at the very least be fun to build in for this video. And it only cost $32 over on AliExpress, which allowed us to spend more on the components that actually matter to us. We do need to populate this case with fans though, so of course I went back to old reliable, the Thermalright 3-pack over on Amazon. For only $13, you get 3 ARGB fans that have consistently tested well for mid-range fans and actually exceptionally well for other fans at this price point. I actually really like the way they look and they are going to push air in this small case fantastically. By the way, for the new PC builders out there, these are correctly labeled as ARGB, which means addressable RGB, meaning we're able to pick whatever color we want, as well as some built-in effects or patterns. A lot of cheap fan makers out there will label their fans RGB, but that can usually mean it's just that rainbow puke color infinitely, so just stay diligent. For the power supply, we've been down this road before. There's no power supply that I trust more at this price point than the 500 watt white from Thermaltake. It's readily available, has a 5-year warranty, and at $38, it's either this or we salvage a dirty power supply from the scrapyard. But of course, I'd be foolish not to mention that a much better power supply can be had for only $12 more. So if you have the cash, I recommend upgrading to something like the Segotep 650 watt or the MSI A550BN. Both of those will offer substantial gains on the PSU tier list and thus perceived reliability. But you won't get better performance, and there's no guarantee those more expensive power supplies don't just blow up as well. But they probably won't. Probably. Moving on to the processor, it's kind of difficult right now. We can go with 10-plus-year-old Intel quad-core processors or 10-plus-year-old Intel Xeon server-style processors, both of which would suffice for sure, but there would be little in way of upgradability. So yes, we ended up having to go AM4 in this build. And again, if you're new to PC building, AM4 is just a chipset released from AMD that is still seeing releases to this day, meaning you can take most of their CPUs from this line and put it into most AM4 motherboards without many issues. So if we buy a cheaper motherboard and CPU combo today, but want to upgrade it in 6 months or a year, we can just take the CPU out, put in a more powerful one, and it should just work, usually. So keeping that in mind, all we could afford was this Ryzen 5 2600 that I scored on AliExpress for $29. It's a 6-core 12-thread processor that can boost to 3.9 GHz. It's got 16 megs of L3 cache and supports DDR4 RAM. So it's a nice little CPU that can handle good multitasking and entry-level to lower mid-range graphics cards these days. The 2600 is readily available on AliExpress, but it isn't exactly new. Even if the seller tells you it's brand new, just be aware that it isn't. I decided to go back to Amazon and just buy a basic CPU cooler. This is the tried and true SE214XT from ID Cooling, which is actually a misnomer because I be the one that's cooling. You guys know this one. It's a classic, a 4-heat pipe air cooler that comes with an ARGB fan, and simply put, it just works. This thing might be cheap, but it has no problems cooling 99% of processors out there, including our Ryzen 5 2600. These things change in price often, but they usually hang out in the $15 to $20 range. Luckily, I got this one from Amazon resale for only $13. It said it was in like-new condition, and that was actually true. This cooler will be an amazing addition to our little budget rig here. And that CPU has to go into a motherboard, so at this price point, we could buy an A320 Mobo on Amazon for a good price, but they usually lack some advanced features, and they have some weak-ass VRM cooling, so I'd rather go with a B450 chipset board. And luckily, there are some very affordable ones out there to this day. The one I got is from a brand called Maxon. It's not an extraordinary motherboard, but it does have everything we will need for this build. It luckily has a slot for an M.2 NVMe drive, so we can at least utilize super fast PCIe 3 storage. It only has 2 RAM slots, but that won't really affect performance. The listing page says it supports 5000 series AM4 processors out of the box, so you won't have to update the BIOS yourself when you decide to upgrade, which is a nice touch. It also has this nice black finish on it, so that should blend into the build nicely. A lot of these cheap motherboards have some of the worst colors you'd ever imagine, so I'm glad that is not the case this time. I swear, whoever designed some of these things might actually be trolling. One of the few problems with this motherboard, though, is that it lacks a spot to plug in 3-pin RGB cables, which is pretty common on budget motherboards these days, even from big manufacturers, so you just need to buy one of these SATA to RGB adapters. They'll run you about $2 on AliExpress, but if you're lazy, you can just buy it on Amazon for like $6. If you don't care about RGB, then you can just skip it entirely. You can still power the fans normally on this motherboard without the RGB adapter. The memory paired with it is another affordable option on AliExpress from a brand called Killsree, which I have no idea what this could possibly mean. Wait a second, that card, oh my God. It's nothing special, just 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM in dual channel, clocked at 3200 megatransfers per second. There's not really much else to say. It's got a heatsink to help with heat, I guess, but as long as it runs at the advertised speeds, then I'll be content. The RAM set us back only $22, which is a fantastic price for what we're getting. Now the storage is a series of unfortunate events. Normally, I'd say that you should buy as much storage as you can comfortably afford. 500 gigs of NVMe storage will set you back about $30 these days, and I was going to order it from a brand called KingSpec on AliExpress that has worked for me in the past, but once the SSD got here, I realized I only bought 128 gigs. Note to self, do not buy stuff online when lying in bed half asleep at 3 a.m. It's not a recorder, it's an enclosure. It's a battery power bank enclosure. Now, I originally wanted to swap it out for one with more storage, but this drive only cost me $10, and for that price, I think it could be great for someone on a really, really extreme and tight budget. 128 gigs is not a lot these days, but it will hold your operating system, your programs, and even a AAA game or two. So in the machine it goes, but again, I really recommend buying more if you can afford it. And last, but certainly not least, we need to pick a graphics card. And there really isn't much we can buy at this price point, huh? Considering I poised this video as a way of not having to buy off of local marketplaces, we need to find a GPU on Amazon, AliExpress, or Newegg. But there really aren't any GPUs under $100 on any of these sites that I would ever actually consider, except for this one. This is the RX 580 2048 SP. You might have seen this in a couple of videos from myself and some other creators. It's a weird China-only card that has performance on par with an RX 570. but for under $100 from a normal retail site, it's basically all we can get. The performance is a little outdated at this point, but it does have 8 gigs of VRAM, so that will help it do a little bit better in modern games. I got this guy off of AliExpress for around $60, and for that price, it's absolutely worth it. I'm not expecting 1440p levels of performance in this machine, or to crank 90s with my two buddies, Shroud and Emeru, but if we can do 60 FPS at 1080p on most games, then it'll be a great little budget machine. All right, let's build this machine and do some quick benchmarks to show off how a PC that costs less than an Xbox actually performs. Wait, you didn't think it was gonna be that easy, did you? What a fool. No fault of the computer, but the Thermalright fans I ordered did not arrive in a timely manner. So I was forced to use some cheap RGB fans I had lying around to build this PC, but it did not affect performance, and these were actually cheaper than the Thermalright, but I won't swap the prices in the breakdown. The case wasn't too difficult to build in, except the part where there's no place for your cables to hide. So you basically have to shove them underneath the power supply or jam them in the middle. It's not gonna affect performance, but it does look a little unkempt. But I've seen my viewers' bedrooms, so you're already used to that apparently. But other than that, yeah, the whole thing just kind of worked. Pretty surprising for a budget this low, but I won't jinx it. Here's the final cost breakdown for this machine. Now, I'll be the first to admit, this is not the highest performance PC that I've ever built, even at this price point. But it doesn't require any once-in-a-lifetime sales, skulking around Facebook Marketplace, or making huge sacrifices in terms of upgradability. It looks pretty good. It's quite portable, performs well at 1080p, and can be very easily upgradable in the future. Considering all that, this PC is a win. But if you want the best price to performance PC for $300 that does utilize incredible deals and sees how far we can push that $300 budget, check out this video here that showcases an all-white PC that rocks it at 1440p. Please like the video down below if you liked it, and thank you to my channel members for supporting the channel. And if you want your name on that list, feel free to hit the join button below. Oh, and drop a cat emoji in the comments so I know you made it this far into the video. My name's Jason. Thanks for watching.